everyone, welcome back. It's Annette Green. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm working in my weekly journal for 2023 using the Elizabeth Craft Designs full-size planner, and I am using all their dies and stamps and a little bit of other company stuff. But as you can see, I have been working just as the beginning of January in my dashboard, my week 1, week 2, and today we are going to start week 3. And this is what the spread looks like. I've pre-cut all the pages. If you haven't watched week 1, you can always go back and watch these in order, of course. This is week 2, which is a very sad documentation of my sweet girl Suki passing away. We had to say goodbye to her last week. That was a rough one to make, but I have to say, you guys that watched and commented, I thank you so much. You were very, very kind. So many of you have been through the same thing. It's very, very difficult. And I am starting to feel much better. And you may notice now that I have added her little dog tag up here. Just put it on with a little eyelet in the page and tied it with some twine. So that's just a little finishing touch that I had there. And now we're going to start week 3. And I'm late because I was gone. I was in Florida at a scrapbooking crop and got a whole bunch of stuff done. So if you want to take a peek at those things at the end of the video, hang in there. I'm not going to do a full walkthrough, but I'll give you a quick look and we'll talk about the little selfie printer, and then we'll talk more about that one in week 4. As always, I take the page out, and it's easier to work that way. And like I've said in previous videos, these whole reinforcements, I am not putting them on both sides of each page, just the front sides, just to reduce bulk and keep it nice and slim, because I do want to get my entire year in one planner, hopefully. We'll see. So I have some things ready, and again, I am going to document my week, which was last week, week 3, which was the scrapbooking crop down in Florida. So there's my buddy Tiffany and I. We had a great time. And I wanted to mention to you guys how, let's say you have pre-cut your pages like I did, okay? There's a lot of green and brown here, but then you get your photos and there's like hot pink and red and stuff that you might not feel works very well. So we're going to solve that little issue so you don't have to redo this side of your paper, okay? I looked at the color wheel, and I'll pop one up here as I'm talking so you can see what I'm saying. So across from the color wheel where green is, you'll see it's like red and could be pink, right? So they work together. It's not too bad. And even though like Tiffany's shirt is red there and this lady's shirt is pink here, I think it's going to be fine. The photo that will be inside will be this one with the really bright red shirt. So that's cool. This is going to be here, and this will be here, and then this tag is going to slide in back here. So, you know, it's not going to be all clashy. It's going to be just fine. So here's my plan. I think I will begin with my little banner that I want to put up here in the corner. And this little banner, super cute. This is from... Got all my dies and stamps off to the side here. And I got all these pieces and parts all over the place. I think I used this last time. The 1982 General File Folder Set 1. It has become a favorite for sure. But there is that little banner there. And so what I plan to do is get a little more pink going up in this corner. So I die cut the banner once in white. And then I took some scraps of paper that had a little pink in them and just cut portions of each, you know, different color. And I'm going to glue those little pennants back on here. Now we have got to talk about this paper. Real quick, we got to talk about it because it's brand new. It is out and available. It is by Elizabeth Craft Designs, the company I've been talking about. It is called Bella Rose Pink, or Bella Rose, however you choose to say it. And you can see I've already started hacking it up, of course. It is stunning. It is beautiful. So this is how we cut out the file folder over here out of that beautiful rose paper. It's got some vintagey kind of stuff on the back of that one. Gorgeous. Look at this one. again with the vintage. I'm just going to show you really quick. It's just beautiful. And some of these patterns repeat, but then the back side's a little different. So that's super fun. Look at that one. So you'll see me using this a lot. Now this one, again, very similar to this. In fact, the same paper, but on the other side of this one is this. So really, really cool. We got some words here on this one in this awesome like torn page collage. This one it's got a black, almost black. It looks like a really dark gray, but maybe it's a black and olive ivory stripe. This one looks like pretty little bubbles of pinks and a little bit of orange, and then it's got all this great stuff on the other side. Perfect for journaling. Again, there's another fun one like the other, and the black stripe. And let's see. I think all this is repeating. So they kind of mix and match what's on the back sides, which is kind of fun. All right, awesome. So you got a very, very fast idea of what that looks like. For my little pennant pieces, I use this. This is like the cover of the packaging, but look at all these great hexagons. And the print is a lot smaller scale than in the paper. So these are great little places to, you know, have a small pattern behind a small item. So don't throw that away. Well, don't throw it away anyway, because look at the back. Very usable paper. So I'm going to ink these up and get these on here. I did cut away the top part so we still see a white kind of pennant line there. See that? So let me get these on here and we'll get that ready. Right, we're going to zoom in a little bit. This is how it looks. I kind of inked it up afterwards. And I want to put it up here, like in the corner. And I've got this great thing stamped out here. This is from one of the newer stamp sets. It's called Ink with Journaling Cards. It's got all these journal spots and an inkwell and a paintbrush, which we're going to use in a minute. And some cute little sayings and stuff. This one's cute too, having an artistic blast. So I picked this one because it was a crafting retreat or a scrapbooking crafting crop. And I think I want to put it up there and kind of cover up a little bit of that banner. And you see I've got my 3 here. This 3 is the one I've been using for all my weeks. The die is 1915, the large numbers die. There they are. I will be using them every week probably. And I think to tie in some of that green, I went ahead and cut it in the green. I think that's going to go there. And then of course our cute little paintbrush I think should kind of be coming up here, maybe a little bit behind it. So that's my plan so far. And then as you saw earlier with the file folder die, I have cut this out, and normally we would stick that right on the page, but I want to make it into a little pocket just to buy a little bit more real estate on the page. So before I do all that, I think I'll get this prepared with what I want in it. Okay, and as you saw before, we got this funny little photo. This is Tiffany and I, and we're wearing these funny shirts. Mine says, "I'm not a control freak, but you're doing it wrong." Tiffany says, "Caution, I have no filter." So that couldn't be any more true about both of us. Now, I do want to point out, and you may not pick up this detail, look at the frame of the dark brown cardstock. It's basically a matte, but if you look closely, can you see this detail? This little stitchy detail? That is from a die that I will show you. Let's see, I like this photo down lower because I want to make sure I see where that is. Okay, I like it because down lower because I want to put this in there, photo of the day, because our shirts were a big hit that day. That particular stamp is an oldie and a goodie. CS131 circle labels. Again, I'll link everything, but there's all these great things. I almost use perfect because it really is perfect, these shirts for us. But I went ahead and decided on photo of the day. So I'm just using this teeny tiny little bottle this time of art glitter glue. You just buy these on Amazon and refill them. It's got that nice little needlepoint tip. I can link to that as well. I do have like an Amazon shop, I guess you'd call it, where I put a lot of links to items that you can find on Amazon that are not Elizabeth Craft Designs. And those links also earn me a teeny tiny little commission and get you nice things that I like to use. Okay, so there's my little journaling thing. I'll write in there later all about, you know, our time. And then on the front of this is going to be this one. And again, with the brown cardstock, but do you see that stitched edge in that die on that mat? You know, not necessary, but really nice. So I pulled those from, and I'm going to have to put the link, the name of this set on the screen because I don't have it here. It's so new. This is a Sidekick die, and it's one of those, you know, pocket page filler dies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you one for the full-size planner. You know, the planners come in two sizes, Sidekick and full size, I keep calling it. I don't know what else to call it. So this would be an example of the pocket page fillers one for the full-size planner, and you can see the difference in size. And this is, of course, Sidekick size. And what I'm even talking about is these pocket pages, which are from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I believe you get 12 in a set, and there's different configurations for each, which is like impossible to show you here. But there's like, you know, 3x4, 2x2, and 3x4 again. A little shorter page with, I believe these are 3x4. And two 4x4s, and then there's a full page size. So if you're a pocket scrapbooker, that's great. And in combination with these dies, and like I said, these come in Sidekick size too, but you can imagine, where is the one for this guy? Well, let's just do this guy. So you can imagine how quick of work this makes the process of making your pages, right? You've got all these already made frames that fit these spaces perfectly. And there's a pocket page 2 die over here for like the squares and the small squares, and you can even pop a circle in the square pocket. I mean, it's just awesome. So a little bit sidetracked there. I just wanted to show you, a lot of people may not know that there are pocket pages and that there's pocket page fillers. Okay, so that is what I have used for my great little photo mats that I mentioned to you before. So you can see that little fancy edge, that was for the one, and then here is the stitched edge one here. So of course I will link to everything. You will not miss a thing. While I'm assembling a lot of this stuff and actually getting it on the page, I just want to talk to you very quickly about week 4 coming up. It'll just be a few days from now that I will be posting that video. And then after that one, I would love to do a live. We will do them on occasion. So what I need from you is questions. What do you want to know? What would you like to see? What kind of questions do you have for me? I'm not going to make a page while we talk because the feedback that I got from you guys was you didn't really care for that. You really wanted to focus on what was being done with not a lot of chatter. So if we just do sort of a fun Q&A, if you want to see parts of the craft room, or you want to ask about storage or anything, that's what I need to know in advance so that I can kind of prepare. All right, so I want my cute little paintbrush to kind of be, I kind of want to see it going through behind the 3. So I think that's good, and then it kind of cuts off that hard corner there. So we won't put the 3 down yet, we'll just kind of get this underneath. And I'll show you that it was just stamped in black, and then I used markers to color everything in. just basic markers, water-based, nothing fancy. I like the Tombow, usually the brush markers with the fine tip on the other end, but you do you, whatever you like. So the questions that I'm saying to give to me, go ahead and put them in the comments of this video. You can always email me. I'm sure that there's a link somewhere on this page that says to email me, but just put them here. And then other people might look at what you're asking, and that might inspire them to ask something else that you've already asked, you know. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, now, like I said, I want to make this into a pocket. So I'm just going to put adhesive around these three sides. And I always use this very fine tipped art glitter glue to do this because you can put a very fine bead of it. It doesn't spread very far. You know, it doesn't ooze out all over the place if you don't use too much. And it doesn't remain sticky like if you use double-sided tape to do this. It will actually dry hard and clear, and whatever you slide down in there will not catch it. So that's something I always like to do. So you might see this right away and wonder, how can we keep that down? Hold that down? Is it possible that we can hold it down? Do you see this has a little rubber tip to it, part of the bottle? Pretty cool. So you can put like a little hinge clip. You could weight this down with something. You could like maybe add a button, and then you'd have to like pop this around the button. That would work. But I was gonna try this. So this is scissors that have been die cut from the Pocket Page Fillers set number 1 that I showed you earlier. See the scissors right there? I thought that was really cute for a crafting page. So what I've done so far, I got my little silver marker over here. I've cut the scissors out 4 times. I want this to be sturdy and thick, and I was thinking of putting it over here and putting a brad here so that it could swing out of the way, and you could open your flap and then you could swing it back over. I'm not 100% sure if that's what I'm going to do, but that's the idea that I'm having. So let's see if that'll work. So here I have the very topmost one. I have glued together 3 of them to make it nice and sturdy. And the 4th one is the one I will color, which I've already started to color with a black marker on the tip here. And then I've got my just silver metallic colored pen. Doesn't really matter what brand, but I'm going to color that in silver just like scissors would be. And then I'll glue this one on top and let that dry while I think about how to engineer this exactly. Okay, this is what I have come up with. We'll see if it works. I did go and find a scrap that looks just like this from this paper right here, and I punched 5 holes. A 1/2 inch, 5/8. My punch is 5/8. It's just the closest one to me that I had. And the reason why I glued them all together and made them a little thick is because if I just did, well, first of all, we can't go through this page to the other side because we have all this going on. And number 2, we don't want to put this right down on here anyway because it's much too close. You know, it's just too fragile. And this bumps up over here. This is raised because of what we've put in there. So we've got to have something to go through and to lift up the scissors a little bit so it's a little more level with what's going on. And I'm looking over here at the page holes. I've got to stay clear of them. So I think that we'll do this down here. I don't know of any other really great place to put it where it's not going to run into the holes. And we don't want to put it here. So it's going to have to go down here. So what I'm going to do is grab a piercing tool and a mat, and I'm going to puncture a hole right in the middle. And I would recommend a couple things I would recommend. One is when you cut out these scissors, all those layers, cut them all, other than the one on top, cut them all in black. I had to go through and ink and try to cover up all that white, so that really didn't make sense that I did that in white. Okay, now my brad is just a silver brad. Gonna go through my scissors, and then we're gonna go through this hole. I mean, this might look weird, but I don't know. I think it's gonna look kind of cute. And then, of course, we spread open our prongs. And nothing is super tight. We got to make sure it's not too tight. I didn't really, you know, mash down the brad prongs too hard or too tight when I put it through, as long as it can turn. And you can see, you know, with all this handling and twisting, you've got to layer up those scissors or it's just not going to work for you. Okay, final step will be to put some glue where the brad prongs will not hit it. So way out to the edge out here, and if I can get it to flow, okay, liquid glue would be great. All around just that outside edge. And we'll put it down here. Okay, and I'm going to clamp that with some clips off camera and let that really dry and set. Some clips on there. I'm just going to let that go. Let that really set. I'm not going to rush it. I think I'll take this scrap that I have and that same circle punch and do a little fold over. I have this tag that I just kind of made and I labeled who is in the photo down here. These are the projects that I worked on that you'll see in a minute at the crop, and then these are our table mates that were really nice ladies, Sue and Cheryl. Very good time all weekend with them. So I want to make a little fold over tab to that tag with this circle. I'm just going to fold it in half. You see me inking all the edges. I'm just using frayed burlap, nothing special. So I think I'll put that at the top like that, just to kind of pull in more of that pink color. And I did notice when I was making the tag and checking the fit in the little pocket that I created with the file folder that I cover up my cute little paintbrush. So that's where you do as I say, not as I do, and kind of plan that out a little bit better. I should have put this tag in the pocket before I placed where that paintbrush was going to go. But now the paintbrush will be a nice little surprise when you pull the thing out of the tag or the pocket. So I think that's good and dry. I don't want it to stick. And it's a tight fit. It fits in there, but I maybe could have cut it a little bit narrower and that would have been great. But see, you can't even tell that's a paintbrush back there. That's okay. We pull this out. Then it's like, oh, what a nice surprise. All right, let's check this. Let's see how it did. I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, look, look, look. Oh, it works. Oh my gosh. How fun. All right, I just would be very careful until it's really, really set. I think I'm going to put the clips back on. And while we talk about other stuff, we will come back to this at the very, very end. But that's really week 3 right there. So if you want to see that other stuff I mentioned at the top, we're going to do that now. So these are actually classes that have been taught. I taught this one on a crafting cruise. It is a product from Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's the large square TN Traveler's Notebook. And we added all this stuff on here and the charms and the dangles and all that good stuff. And I'll show you inside, but they basically made all the base pages and did some techniques with paint and stamping and stenciling. And then this one was a class that Els Vanderberg taught at the Colorado Crafting Retreat. And again, it's a smaller TN. This is more of a passport size, super fun. And in this one, I documented the retreat itself. So this one was the actual cruise, and this was the crafting retreat. So a quick little spin through here, and then I'm going to do a very slow walkthrough and talk about everything in here. But I wanted to show you basically how much stuff you can get in here, and I wanted to show you the little printer that I used, and then we'll go into a lot more detail in week 4. Okay, so there's the whole retreat, and there's my little name tag. So that was super fun to make. I worked on that at the crop and got it all done and caught up. And then the cruise, same way. All kinds of memorabilia in here. Again with, you know, the small photos like before. And half of this I actually did on the actual cruise. Each night I would go down into the classroom and work on some pages, just using memorabilia that I grabbed while we were crafting and touring and cruising. And of course all the pictures that I took and tickets and things from the cruise compass. I will show you all that, talk about all that in the next video. But there's a good look at another finished little mini album. Okay, and then I wanted to show you just really quick the cute little printer. And a lot of you may already know about it. Now I have it in a box, my Lange hairstyling toolbox for now, but I just ordered the carrying case, so I'm very excited to get that soon. But this is the size of that little printer, the Selfie, Canon Selfie CP 1300. I mean, that's it. So I take this with me when I travel. I took it on the cruise. I took it to the crop. I had no pictures printed before that crop. I did everything as I opened the book and looked at what I needed. And I used this the entire time. It's amazing, I have to say. I don't like, I never just throw out, you know, oh, this is wonderful, you should get this, unless I really mean it, you guys. This is an awesome printer. It prints just as well as my home professional Canon, you know, full-size family household printer. It's amazing. It has a big old power cord. You need electric. However, it is built to be used with your phone through an app, and it has its own Wi-Fi. That's how I can use it on a cruise ship. You don't need Wi-Fi. It has its own Wi-Fi. It doesn't matter where you are. It's so cool. And then, of course, the 4x6 paper and the little tray that it goes in. But I just wanted to show you that is all I used for those 2 albums entirely. And I couldn't have been happier with how everything turned out. So we'll talk more about that. And by the time, hopefully, yes, Friday, I'm going to get my carrying case. And I can show you the ink cartridge that slides in there and everything. And then I can also be showing you week 4. And if you have any questions, don't forget to put them in the comments today. But I think we're done for today here. I'm going to get this in. Week 1, week 2. It's on the other side. And week 3. So here we go. So that just clears the bottom hole just fine. We can't swing that way, but we can swing this way to open this up. Isn't that fun? So I'll take some time and journal this up later when I've had a moment to sit. But that's it for today. Super fun, super fast. I just love it. I'm enjoying this very much, and I hope you guys are too. Okay, well, I will see you very soon, next couple of days in week 4. Take care, and don't forget to leave me some questions so we can do the live. Thanks again. Bye-bye.